climate change is more than statistics. It's more than data points. It's more than net zero targets. It's about the people. It's about the people who are being impacted right now. It's really important for people to look beyond their personal boxes, to look beyond what is just around them to what is happening on the other side. They should widen their vision to see beyond themselves, to see beyond their families, to see beyond their friends, and to just take time to imagine what communities are suffering when it comes to the climate crisis. When it comes to the African continent, it's of course on the front lines of the climate crisis, but it's not on the front pages of the world's newspapers. So I can say that as activists from different parts of Africa, we are doing everything we can to ensure that the challenges that Africa is facing when it comes to the climate crisis are highlighted, and to ensure that stories of different activists from different parts of Africa are also, being listened to. When you talk about poverty eradication, you look at how the climate crisis is pushing millions of people into poverty traps and keeping it, for generations and generations, because as families try to, go out of poverty through maybe selling the food that they grow on their farms, then the climate crisis is destroying many people's crops, drying up many people's crops through the droughts and also through the floods, destroying people's farms, floods destroying people's businesses. So it will be impossible to eradicate poverty without climate justice. In many societies, girls and women are at the front lines of the climate crisis, and they're the first responders, when climate disasters occur, because in many societies, they have the responsibility of providing food for their families, collecting water, for their families, and, collecting firewood for their families. So many times, what is lost on the farm is hard work of one woman or many women, in a certain community. The people who have to walk long distances, this could be a woman, having to walk long distances to look for water because of the water scarcity. This could be someone's, girl child who is going to drop out of school to help their mother collect water or to recover everything that has been lost on the farms. I think it's important for people to look at climate change in that, in that lens, to see that it's more than emissions, it's more than 1.5. It's about how people are being impacted when it comes to education, when it comes to gender equality, when it comes to poverty, when it comes to hunger, when it comes to peace, when it comes to their health as well. So I think one of the ways that we can ensure that people start seeing that is to educate more people and to create more awareness about people understanding that if it is a puzzle, as long as one piece is not okay, everything else, the puzzle can never be complete. And if it's a system, if one part of a system is crushed or it's broken, then eventually the rest of the system will be broken as well. Many countries on the front lines of the climate crisis are still waiting for the $100 billion climate finance that hasn't been, delivered. So these are some of the injustices of the climate crisis, those who didn't cause the climate crisis, those who are not responsible for the rising global emissions, they are the ones on the front lines. They are the ones whose voices are not being listened to, and they are the ones not getting climate finance for mitigation or adaptation or finance for loss and damage. In the end, we cannot eat coal, we cannot drink oil, and we cannot breathe so-called natural gas. And again, something else that one of my friends says a lot, she's an activist, her name is Evelyn, that money will be useless on a dead planet